Disclaimer, disclaimer, read all about it.
Gone somewhere and dyed my hair now. Wanna be alone. It's much to bear and you don't care, and I won't play alone. I got you in my sight. I keep all of what you said to me. I get you on your knees. Rewrite all the things you said that I should be. I'll get you now. You beg me please. Hey.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for being patient with me. Can anyone hear me? Put a 1 in the chat if you can. We have quite a intense, not yet a case, but should be very soon case, if that makes sense, any sense. Awesome. Okay, good. So, what are we talking about tonight? Well, there is a pastor out of South Carolina and his wife, which is Mica Miller that you see on your screen here. This pastor, John Paul Miller, had a very interesting way of explaining what happened to his wife, Micah, who has recently passed away from an alleged suicide. And you're going to hear, so there's a trigger warning on that. So if that bothers you, please just be cautious or don't listen. Maybe this isn't for you. But there's a lot to unpack here. And because it's developing more and more on social media and in the Facebook groups, and you know how this goes. If you're in the true crime community, it's always good to review what was said and break down what we can, I guess, deduce from what she's saying and family and the actions of John Paul Miller. Again, he's a pastor for Solid Rock Church in Myrtle. Is it South Carolina? So we're going to go through the details so I don't butcher it. So it's Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I'm going to play the very first video that popped up for me when I saw this case. Actually, I didn't see it. So mi madre came up to visit and love on that baby, and or her 2 grandsons rather. And she is a true crime connoisseur herself. And she asked me if I heard of this. And I said, "What are you talking about?" And I was shocked that I hadn't yet. So she actually, shout out to Mom, he may be watching actually. She was the one that let me know this. But the thing about this specific case is that from personal experience and seeing abuse within a religious sector or in a institution, religious institution, predators are amongst any kind of group you could imagine, but they hide very well in plain sight, specifically in places that you would think are sanctimonious and would not have that happen. We know this. They're in schools, they're in prestigious levels of military, education, healthcare, you name it. We all know this. So there's a lot that I think that we can unpack here and also honor her, because she did give testimony of her side of things, and it's only fair to give her that voice because it has been taken, whether or not it was self-induced. Okay, and there's a lot of family and friends rallying against the fact that her alleged unaliving, that there's no basis to it. She would never. And we'll go through that. I'm going to say hi to everybody in chat and kind of jump in. It's late. I know you guys have things to do and places to be, but I'm so glad you're here. And I appreciate you. Again, this is triggering content, so I just wanted to let you know that. Hi, Mr. Eve. Thank you for being here. Hey, Brooke, good to see you, love. OG Mod. Thought you could hide from me. Never. Oh my God, Jennifer Coffindaffer with the, oh my God, not today. Not today, Satan. Yeah. So if anybody doesn't know, Jennifer Coffindaffer went to Canton, Massachusetts, where the Karen Reed case, Norfolk County, where Karen Reed's case is taking place, trial rather. And she decided to trespass on the new owner's property where John O'Keefe was found, which is Karen Reed's boyfriend. He was found deceased in the snow. She decided to trespass. She was caught on camera, ring camera, tiptoeing onto the property, being a little sneaky devil, and taking pictures of the what was then crime scene for John O'Keefe. So that was very ironic to me that Goody Two Shoes Coffindaffer, with misinformation flying about, would do such a thing. Hey, Queen Olive. Absolutely hit that like button while you're here. Even the lurkers in the back, you want to. Might as well. Nico Chap Cat, good to see you, love. Six Up says, I'm here for it. I know nothing about this. We're going to go through it. Stick with me. It's a lot. But lots of good can come out of this too, not just the circumstances as they are. Cracking asses. Woohoo, good to see you. We do appreciate every single one of you. We absolutely do. Is Chris being the devil? You better behave, Chris. Nay, good to see you, love. All right. If I missed you, I'm so sorry. Yes, this case is so sad. We're going to get all into the... Carrie, thank you for helping me, by the way. I appreciate you, love. Breege. Good to see you. All right. Again, if I missed you, I'm sorry about that. I appreciate you being here. If you're on the replay crew, go ahead and hit that like button. Leave a comment in the comment section on what you think about this case. I'm going to be following it until its finality. Reese, good to see you, love. All right. Whew. So let's just watch this little video real quick of the first video that Google basically shows everyone. The title is Death of Pastor's Wife Shakes Community. Reported cause of death makes it tougher. This was from the National Desk and WPDE. Now, again, this happened in North Carolina where she was found deceased. Where Micah was found is very strange. All right? Very strange. And it gets even more strange as things come out and people basically testify to what they've witnessed and what they know. So just keep an open mind for now. All right? One sec. Sorry. Let me know if
C15's
y'all can
Mike
hear
Owen has
that.
been working for you to learn more about the life. C15's Mike Owen has been working for you to learn more about the life and death of Mica Miller. He joins us now live outside their church in Market Commons. So, Mike, what have you learned today?
Micah's friends tell me that she led women's ministry and worship right here at Solid Rock Church. While the death investigation is ongoing, her friends can't believe she's gone and they want answers. But her husband tells me she had a long struggle with mental illness. Mica Miller died last week in the Orem community. The investigation into her death started at Lumber River State Park on Saturday. The Robeson County Sheriff's Office says they're actively investigating how the 30-year-old died. Her friends remembering how she lived her life.
She had a heart for missions. When she went to Africa this time, she just fell in love. That was her heart. She'd do anything for anybody.
She's survived by her husband, the pastor at Solid Rock Church in Myrtle Beach. He says Micah dreamed of opening up a school in Africa and was always giving to others.
She was probably the greatest wife anyone could ask for. She was incredibly affirming. We spent every night together for hours, just talking and talking and talking.
Miller says her death was a suicide, but a cause of death has not been released. But many of her friends are struggling to come to terms with that.
This has to be at least looked into deeply. There's got to be some accountability here because it's a tragic life was lost, and it's not just as simple as somebody had some mental issues.
But Miller says Micah battled mental health issues for years, even speaking openly about it to the congregation.
She had struggled with suicide before, and each time, helped her through it, took her to her doctor, and we got through it, and everything was fine. And she even gave a few testimonies here at church. We have on video of times where she had battled suicide, but God took care of her and got her through it.
For families.
So that was John Paul, her husband. And I don't know about you. I don't like to speak on other people. But I just don't like it. I don't even have to know anything about anything. I just don't like the way it sounds. I don't like the way he speaks. Even if I had no idea about anything, it just immediately, maybe it's the narc trait radar that I have. I don't know. What do you think? Put it in the chat.
Dealing with mental health issues, the pastor at Solid Rock Church has a message.
The second you see any type of sign, get them to a doctor. The second you see it, don't wait.
A memorial for Micah will be held this Sunday at 3 p.m. at Solid Rock Church. A group of her friends will also be meeting there at 9 a.m. to hold a Justice for Micah rally to bring awareness to her struggles. Connor, back to you.
All right, Mike, thank you. We filed FOIA requests with the Robeson County Sheriff's Department and Horry County Police Department for more information on this case.
So good old FOIA. They're going to FOIA the request for her death, but it is under investigation. Now, why would it be under investigation if they ruled it that way? Well, the reason is because when you fight hard enough and you don't agree with the way that a medical examiner or the autopsy comes about and you want a second opinion, sometimes you can push through the police office or the police department of your town or county, the state. You could get a private third party. There's other avenues, right? But there has to be something to trigger that. You can't just be because you feel like it's wrong. You have to have evidence to back that up and support it 99% of the time, right? So I was looking at the Yahoo article here, Death of South Carolina Pastor's Wife, Micah, under investigation as her family warns of false stories. So the family is coming out. We're going to get to the TikTok videos, but I wanted to get to the news part first because, of course, we always want to go off of information that is more than likely not biased, right? Should be of bias. The news fails, but the family is definitely saying there is something wrong, and we're going to go to the Facebook posts that say that as well to back up that. I do want to mention again, this is important to me. So this story discusses suicide. If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide, please contact the Suicide Crisis Lifeline at 988 or 1-800-273-TALK. If you could please put that in the chat, just to have that there, I would greatly appreciate it if one of the mods could do that. I appreciate you. Thank you. All right, so let's see what they have to say on this after this stupid ad. Gotta love them ads. So let me read chat while we're waiting on this dumb ad. I really want to hear about this girlfriend. So do I. I want to hear about the mistress. There's a picture. She seems a little shocked. We're just going to jump into that final Jeopardy. Yes, there is already a mistress. Days, maybe weeks before Micah's passing, right? They were at least speaking, but then they were seen together. I want to say days before she passed. All right. Awful. But we'll get to that picture. Let's just show it. Let's just jump right into the final Jeopardy here. This dude is not a saint, even though he's a pastor. Oh no, busted. And he is cool as a cucumber. Cool as a cucumber. But she's like, shit. She looks really young. I hope she is not as young as Micah was when he became quote unquote friends with her based on Micah's testimony on her Facebook videos. We'll get into that. He was 28 years old. And they have basically been together, if you will, since that time. They do not have kids together from my understanding. I believe the children that he had was from a previous marriage, or maybe, I'm not really 100% sure on that, but from my understanding, she did not have children. I could be mistaken on that, but from my understanding, they were his children, so. Oopsie daisy, I'm busted. Doesn't she look very young? Absolutely does. All right, let me know if you can hear this.
Good morning and
Okay,
welcome back. Here's an eyebrow raiser. A second Boeing whistleblower, now dead after experiencing a brief illness. This comes after Joshua Dean expressed concerns over manufacturing issues with the company's 737 MAX planes. This comes after Joshua Dean expressed concerns.
Okay, so this is not what I meant to watch, but because me and Mr. Eve have been Googling this, and you know, we went live the other day or a few weeks ago about the whistleblower. There's another whistleblower, a second Boeing whistleblower, deceased after calling out that 737 and the problems that they've had. Can you believe it? So that's why that was brought up, because we've been watching this. We will need to update you guys on this with that second live. Mr. Eve, make sure that you're ready for this. We've got to update you guys on this. So let's see if the right video will play now. After this 15-second ad. Boy, I love news media websites. I just love them. They are the, you know, my fave.
Welcome back.
You know what? We're just going to skip the fucking video. Apparently, it's not meant for me. So, North Carolina authorities are reportedly investigating the death of Mica Miller. As we know, the 30-year-old wife of Pastor John Paul Miller from Myrtle Beach. Robeson County officers reportedly located Miller's body on April 27th in the Lumber River State Park, about an hour drive from the Miller's hometown of Myrtle Beach, last weekend, and are investigating how she died according to ABC 15. John Paul, however, told his congregation that his wife died by unaliving and that she had struggled with her mental health for years, but authorities have not released her official cause of death. And I still think that that's the case as we speak. All right. Again, you heard that he had said she struggled with unaliving before. Each time we would help her through it. You heard. But she even gave a few testimonies. That's what really struck me as odd. She gave a few testimonies at her church that we have on video. All right, leakage, right? We all know what leakage is when you share too much information or things that would seem not relevant to the conversation starts to come out. Self-deletion is a great, alternative. I only say that not to diminish the word, but YouTube is very strict about it. I don't know why, because it is what it is, right? And if we can't be honest and say the words with the meaning, but YouTube is YouTube. But that right there, to use that against her for her testimony after she has been found deceased, he uses that against her by saying, we have it on video. And she battled this, but God took care of her and got her through it. I don't know if anybody in my chat knows about being a victim of abuse, and nor is it my business, but if you do, I think that you could probably read between the lines with this, and it's not something that we should speculate on too hard right now. However, if you see it, you see it, okay? If you see it, you see it. Isn't she beautiful? 100,000% above that dude's pay grade, in my opinion. All right, that's just my opinion. So the obituary, hang on to your butt cheeks if you haven't heard this, all right? An obituary for Miller states that the 30-year-old woman was energetic, affirming, adventurous, faithful, loving, giving, forgiving, talented, joyous, creative, assertive, bold, determined, authoritative, passionate, hardworking, a risk taker, and so much more, which is beautiful. However, Micah's loved ones on social media are noting one part of the obituary that strikes them as odd. Quote from the obituary, okay, quote, she would praise her husband after every church service, telling him he was the best preacher in the world, even if it wasn't true. She also told him he was the funniest preacher in the world, even though that wasn't true either. Self-deprecating humor through John Paul Miller. Micah loved her family so much. Woo doggy. So we're going to go to Facebook, get the whole full potato on that, and see exactly what the entire thing said so that we don't, maybe that was just taken out of context. I don't think so. But if you hashtag justice for Micah, not justice for Micah Miller, everything should pop up. I think it's just justice for Micah, but it's both hashtags. Oh, mistress. So yes, he does have his wedding band on. This is Sir John Paul Miller. Pastor. And that is Miss Ma'am with the oh no face from earlier. I have no qualms putting her on blast right now. Sorry about that. We're focusing on Micah and her story. So you just so happen to be a part of that. I'm sorry for you. How unfortunate. Here's some screenshots from TikTok. I guess you just got to get back on the dating scene 3 days after your wife, quote unquote, passes. 3 days. I am going to keep saying this repeatedly. Pastor, someone who is supposed to be the top dog of ethics, morals, Jesus-like, right? That's what they preach in the sermons. We're going to get to that. All right. What's really, really odd that we're going to get into as well is Mistress's husband, who is a paraplegic, has recently died from unaliving by rolling himself with what little strength he has in his arm into, I believe, a pool or some body of water. I'll clarify that shortly, but seems to be a lot of wild things going on. It's giving Daybell-ish, maybe, only just with their spouses. What is that other, that one case? Not Scott Peterson, but that one. But there's one similar to that happened right after. Maybe somebody can think of it, but it was the same situation where, husband steps out, the mistress does what she does to husband, and he, kills the wife right after Scott Peterson, maybe 2 years after. So if somebody can let me know that, it's giving that. It's obviously something's going on, maybe some conspiracy to be together. I don't know why people like this want to do that to their partners. Maybe life insurance. We'll see if that comes out, if that's a possibility. So let's listen to her own words. This is one of the most played videos. It's very touching. It might bring some tears to you because I think people who relate to domestic violence or abuse, you'll hear it in her tone. She's going to basically tell you exactly what was going on with her. This is one of many videos. And what's amazing about this video is national advocates for the missing and exploited have put this on their page, which is amazing because this is what needs to be shown, to know the signs, know what to look for. Abuse can be very masked and smoke and mirrors. Usually is. Lots of manipulation going on. And if you can maybe see it in somebody else who finally was getting to the point of being able to testify, have a testimony of their own, and kind of fight back. You could see her fighting back in this, okay? And it kind of makes me tear up. She's telling her abuser exactly what happened and how she feels about it. And even her religious stance on it. All right.
So today my heart's a little heavy. I've had a lot of women that have reached out to me about situations of abuse. And I just want to tell you what a lot of people have told me lately and reminded me, because I think I forgot. I knew, but I pushed it in the back of my head just because of my situation. But you are the bride of Christ. Before anybody else's bride, male or female, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what gender you are. Abuse is abuse. And you are the bride of Christ. And my Bible says that he took all the abuse you could think of for you so that you didn't have to live that life of slavery and bondage and pain. Jesus took it all for you. So you don't have to stay in a abusive relationship, whether that's sexual, whether that's somebody forcing you to take illegal drugs, or alcohol abuse, or physical abuse, psychological abuse, making you
So let that sink in. She just listed abuse. Sorry, let me pause myself. Shut up, Eve. She just listed being forced to take drugs. Maybe that means anti-anxiety or whatever it may be. Alcoholism. Maybe he suffered from that. Maybe she suffered from that. Psychological abuse. So she's listing exactly what was going on and what had happened, right? Making you think that this is all your fault, or you're a bad mom, or you're a bad wife, or you're a bad husband. Making you feel like you're the problem. Yeah, illegal drugs. Thank you for pointing that out, Why Crime. That's right. Illegal drugs. What were you giving her? Who was giving her what?
Think that this is all your fault, or you're a bad mom, or you're a bad wife, or you're a bad husband, or you're not giving it your all when you know you are. God hates divorce, but why? According to everybody I've asked and the scriptures that I've found, it's because it hurts people. But does abuse hurt people? How do you think God feels about that? So, I want to remind you, like a bunch of people have been reminded.
Now that is a lot of love for her to be, she was very, religious in the church. You could see it in the videos prior. She was singing to the high heavens. But that's, to me, being in not this situation in any way, shape, or form to this degree. However, in some degree, you get to a point where you just have to be real. And you can see it and hear it in her tone that she is saying abuse is worse than your belief or God's belief in hating me for getting away from you. Because he doesn't want me to be abused. She's saying it. I'm not mincing her words. I'm just paraphrasing. That's exactly what she's saying. And so that's her claims. She's giving her testimony, as some do end up doing when they get a backbone and they start to defend themselves and get the freedom that they deserve, the mental freedom, the psychological freedom. She's standing up. And sometimes when you're dealing with someone on a very egregious level of grandiosity, okay? Because I don't like to use the word narcissism too often, like a narcissist, because everybody uses it now. So grandstanding themselves, right? Gaslighting the shit out of their partners. Sometimes they turn very dangerous. And I believe her name was Cassie, is who I'm thinking of. Cassie, I covered her case from Florida, where she was estranged from her baby daddy, and they were having issues and all sorts of stuff with custody, and he took her to, I believe, Alabama, where he murdered her. And that kind of level is what he reminds me of. What was her name? Cassie Carly? It's been a while, sorry. Was it Carly? Yeah. Cassie Carly. Which, by the way, is Senate passed. Yes, I forgot to even mention this on my channel, but Florida did pass Cassie Carly's law spurred by women's death. Senators have approved new legislation aiming to protect parents during custody exchanges. Beautiful. Wonderful thing. But listen, the sponsor of the 2023 law guarding against domestic violence voted against the bill. Wouldn't you? Is that shocking to you? Is that really that shocking? There are predators of all kinds, okay? There's Cassie, beautiful woman. I covered that from start to finish too. And I think of her all the time. I do. Keep her in my mind. But she was taken by, her ex. And that guy gives me the same feeling from Micah's husband, right? John Paul. That's just me.
Me lately that I'm God's bride first. And even an earthly spouse who's a good spouse, when they know that their bride is being hurt, just imagine what an earthly spouse does. What do you think your heavenly spouse does when you're the bride of Christ and he sees his bride going through?
Do you think, this is such a powerful video, I'm sorry. Do you think that pissed Pastor Miller off? Put a one in the chat if you think that hearing that God was her, she was God's first bride. Do you think that that pissed him off something royally? I felt it. I don't know about y'all, but if you feel like it did, put a one in the chat. I bet the farm that it lit a fire. That's what I think. Nobody comes before him, right? Yeah, I see a lot of ones already. I would have to agree. Yeah. But good for her. I don't care what happened at this point. Good for her for standing up for herself. She has a right to do so. She has a right to feel the way she feels. I bet it felt very free.
Through abuse and hurt. What do you think he thinks about that? So, encouragement in all this is you are the bride of Christ first before anybody else's. And he's got you. And he sees you. And he loves you. So today.
Wonderful video. It's one of her last posts. So let's see how Micah, let's see what the details are about where she was at and how she was found. And the reason why it's important is because it might come into play later with where he was potentially, or whoever it is that may have taken her life, because again, the family does not believe she would do such a thing. And there are things that happened on both parts here, Micah and John Paul. They both did things prior to her passing that is important. Okay, so she was found in a different state. That's important to note. Maybe there's different laws just because, she was found in North Carolina, right? So let me look and see if the family posted on TikTok. I think they did. So she died at the Limber River State Park in the Orem community of Robeson County. I believe this is where the family speaks on camera. I always like to do the news first, and then we'll get to the more graphic, detailed information from TikTok or whatever social media platform they were using. I think it's important to hear the family actually speak.
At the University of Arizona.
That's just me. While we wait for this freaking ad, Micah's friends said that she had led the women's ministry and worship team at Solid Rock Church at Market Common, and they can't believe she's gone.
Morning after the
Oh,
unexpected.
okay, it's the one that we watched already. Never mind. But they said she had a heart for missions. When she went to Africa this time, she just fell in love. That was her heart. She would do anything for anybody, said Trisha Ross, a friend of Micah's, as she fought back tears. Did a lot of good things. There's a picture of them together. Way above his pay grade, in my opinion. She was probably the greatest wife anybody could ask for. She was incredibly affirming. We spent every night together for hours just talking and talking, except for the mistress, except for those. The official cause of death again has not been released, but Miller said her death was a unaliving, and many of her friends are struggling to come to terms with that. Friends, family, both are saying, no way. This has to be at least looked into deeply. There's got to be some accountability here, said Ken Young, a friend of Micah's, because yeah, a tragic life was lost. And it's not just as simple as mental health issues. And I mental health and any kind of downfall to a person who looks, that doesn't that looks as it's a weakness to their partner in these circumstances. Okay? They use it against the person, and it's so unfair and unjust. Because yes, some people do struggle with it. And sometimes they do in their lives. Okay, but it's not as typical as you would think in these relationships like this. Matter of fact, I would, and I'm not going to say statistically, but I would wonder what the statistics are on them actually doing something to themselves versus foul play. All right. We've seen it over and over again. It's not going to be the first or last time, that's for sure. Yes, Justice Jane, I agree. Tia Dash, good to see you, love. Good to see you. She did have 2 kids. Okay, I hadn't seen it yet, so that's my heart breaks for them. And I hope they get all of the resources that they need. Absolutely. Did I read that he had an ex-wife with 5 children? Wow. Oh, okay. I'm so sorry. He had 2 kids with ex-wife. Got it. My apologies. I haven't gotten there yet. Dilly Pickles, can I get Eve's email address? You sure can. EveEPTalk@gmail.com. Hey, Metal Clips. Wow. I didn't know. All right. So let's jump over to witnesses. This, if you think about it, if this goes into another direction where the death investigation goes from suicide to murder, potentially, maybe, perhaps, it's very important to see what was going on again before, during, and after. And the testimony of friends, family, witnesses that may potentially say, this is what I saw, this was suspicious, whatever. So let's go to Facebook. Then we're going to go to TikTok. I have not been to TikTok in a hot minute. But this definitely pulled me back in because there's a lot of information on there and Facebook. My dearest Micah, Shaylin French, you did not deserve this. I remember when you left due to this man's abuse. Okay, so this is direct testimony from someone she knows or knew. Okay? So this is not me. This is not speculation. This is what they are saying. It's all alleged. Just know that. Everybody is innocent until proven guilty by court of law. You know the drill. All right? You did not deserve this. I remember when you left due to this man's abuse the first time and came to Life Church West Wichita, where you were so excited to serve and sing again. You were excited for a new life. Life group was a great way for us to trauma bond. I get that. And I remember us planning so many activities to get us both over heartbreak from our abusers. Abuse takes so many forms. We are both there for each other when we were fighting our own battles just a little over a year ago. I hated that you went back. I hated the way the text messages you sent to us explained that your husband was allowing you to come back home. Ouch. Ouch. That hurts. Allowing you to come back home. I hated how we joked if you needed to help to blink twice. And that we just let you go. But most of us all, I hate how I found out your fate by a viral TikTok post. We are grieving you. justice for Micah and get this guy behind bars. He fucking did it. Do y'all want to watch the announcement that Pastor John Paul Miller did to his congregation regarding his wife's passing? Let's watch it.
It was self-induced. We're gonna have a funeral for her next Sunday. I got a call late last night. My wife has passed away. And yeah, it was self-induced. We're gonna have a funeral for her next Sunday here at 3 p.m. It's all I can. Yeah, I'm just kind of going on adrenaline right now. My request to you is that you will continue to come to church and serve and give.
That was a very summed up version of it, actually. But yeah, that's what he said. He also said, what was it? Nobody talk about it. It was wild. Yeah, I get it. Profile. I don't use this very often on desktop, but anyway.
All right, you guys. So we have a very strange case filed for divorce.
Maybe a few days, a few weeks.
All
Don't
right.
talk about the announcement.
Here
also told
is
the
this
church that she
dude's
had been
testimony.
suffering from mental health issues.
I'm going to have you stand up, and I'm going to make an announcement. And after the announcement, I'm going to ask that you leave church quietly and don't talk about the announcement here in the building, please, if you can, so y'all can stand to your feet. Before I make the announcement, I also want to say that my request to you is that you will continue to come to church and serve and give for the next, little bit, because I don't want to I'm taking a little bit of a break, and I don't want to have to worry about the church. My break may be a few days, a few weeks, I don't know. I got a call late last night.
Tia, wow.
And yeah, it was self-induced, and it was up in North Carolina. And we're going to have a funeral for her next Sunday here at 3 p.m. And so it's all I can, I'm just kind of going on adrenaline right now. So y'all pray for me and my kids and everybody. And she wasn't, y'all knew that she wasn't well mentally, and that she needed her medicine.
I am running on adrenaline right now. I believe you. I absolutely believe you. I know that everybody grieves in different ways, right? And it's very frowned upon in this community to judge on how somebody reacts or doesn't react. So I'm not going to do that. But what I am going to say is that I probably wouldn't be able to hold my breath together this quickly in the game. But maybe he's already cried his ass out. We're not going to go there. I just feel it's very insensitive. Not to mention, Tia pointed out, rightfully so, that don't forget to come to church and give. Don't forget to serve and give. Wow.
It was hard to get to her.
So even though the police are still investigating her death, he gets in front of the congregation and tells the entire congregation that his wife was not well mentally. Now, her family saw this and thought this was extremely strange, and they feel like police do need to investigate this more. Not only that, you guys, yes, Micah was going through things, but she was working through those things, and she would constantly talk about this on Facebook.
Hey, everybody. I just want to let you know that I'm alive and well, and life's been kind of crazy the couple past weeks, months, years, but I've kind of had to keep my circle really small for the past couple weeks, just because I'm going through a lot, and it's hard, and it's my cross to bear. It's the thing that God has put in my life to deal with, and I don't want to bring a lot of people into it.
Now, y'all, everybody is innocent until proven guilty. We're not accusing anyone of anything, but the family honestly feels like the husband is acting very strange.
I don't know about y'all, and I hate to be so judgy because, looks are looks, right? At one point in the game, I felt like maybe I was Miss Hot Stuff. Here I am with 2 kids later. I'm looking like a whole bag of something not hot. And Mr. Eve is looking fine and things, okay? Whatever. Love is love. But I'm sorry. She is drop dead gorgeous. And he looks like a goofy goober on Hot Wheels. I mean, I'm just saying, why does it always end up like that? Is it just me? I'm not trying to be dense, but that's just how I feel.
Even in the obituary, he made it seem like he was the best husband in the world and said that Michael loved him more than anything. But y'all, she was filing for divorce and she was trying to get away from him. Not only that, people that went to this church are speaking up and saying that they believe that he groomed Michael and there was abuse going on for a long time. Now, as of right now, this is just a death investigation. But you guys, comment below and let me know your thoughts on this case. Do you believe there's more to this story?
It has to be at least looked into deeply. There's got to be some accountability here.
You know damn well there's more to this story. Somehow, some way, she's telling it. She's telling it. And we're listening to it when it's too late. Let's listen to another one. I think her voice is more important.
That I am so happy to be born into this country where we have job opportunities that are better than what I've witnessed in other countries. I remember driving past a man sitting on a giant rock, and he had like a chisel and a hammer. And I asked the people that we were with, what is that man doing? And they said that is his job. He finds a big boulder in the wild, and he beats it into littler rocks, and then beats those rocks into littler rocks, and then he bags up all the rocks and he puts them in a wheelbarrow and he takes them into town and he tries to sell them for landscape, for construction, whatever. So if you have a job that's better than that, be so thankful today.
Okay, I'm checking my emails. What am I looking for? Yes, it's in your email. Oh, the obituary? I don't see anything. Hold on. Let me refresh. I see nothing. Hold on. Who sent it to me? Oh, Dilly. I haven't gotten it yet. You didn't read the article you posted, hun. Oh. Sorry. ADHD.
Read all about it.
I mean, it didn't have, I don't think, the obituary I was looking for. Oh, got it. Okay, yeah. I'd skipped way too many times. I apologize. I know it's hard to follow me. I can't even follow me. Hold on.
Gone somewhere and dyed my hair now. Wanna be alone. It's much to bear and you don't care, and I wanna play alone.
God, everything just went to shit really quickly. It's almost like when you talk about anything related to narcissism, things just kind of go south. All right, it's just bad energy, right? Okay. So Major Damian McLean with the Robeson County Sheriff's Office said that they are actively investigating the death of 30-year-old Mica Miller. The sheriff's office confirmed Miller died last week at Lumber River State Park, as I said before, in the Orem community of Robeson County. I want to know where that is real quick. What is it called again? Lumber River State Park. And a reason why I want to look this up is just to get a visual. Did she ever go there? Did she ever visit there? So now I'm getting into my curious side, right? Reese, I pay attention to what you post. Without you guys in the chat and the viewers and the members and all of that, I would be nothing. So I appreciate you so much. I've never heard of this. Lumber River State Park. Has anybody been around this area before? Do you know Carly, something like that? Oh, I sent deputies in case you're not able to open the direct link. I have an account. Oh, thank you. Oh, Cassie, Carly, I was just wanting to point out that the man that she was, her baby daddy, who had unalived her, the vibe is definitely the same with John Paul Miller. That's what I was trying to get at. Eve, they live in South Carolina. Do we know why she was in North Carolina and where was JP at the time? Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at. Absolutely. I have no idea. I'm hoping that Facebook, people who know him would say, I saw him at the blah, blah, blah with mistress, whatever her name is, right? Thank you, Dilly Pickles. I do appreciate you guys for keeping, it's really late. Eve, the article that Carrie posted and didn't read talked about him grooming him. Yeah. We're going to get to that. So, how far is this away from Myrtle Beach? That's what I want to know. It said an hour. I just want to see. Yep, about an hour and 15 minutes. But the different ways you can get there. So this is like the investigative Eve coming out. Map time Eve. I actually don't want terrain. I want satellite. Come on, y'all. So these are the different routes. So why would she go up? Look, okay. She's a woman of God, right? People on Facebook are saying she definitely did not or would not do this to herself, okay? So what about Lumber River State Park? What about these state parks? How was she found? Was it geofencing? Who found her? Did she leave a cryptic text, a cryptic note? Carrie said, I read it, just skimmed. Don't you start. Y'all better behave. Don't go after each other because I'm half-witted tonight. Yes, justice for Micah. I really, really hope that if something happened differently than what was originally thought, I hope that justice comes very swiftly. So why here? There's a Walter Cemetery, Haynes Cemetery. Why would you come here? Was this the place that they had been to before? I mean, this is something, you would think that this place is a place where somebody who wanted you not to be found would place someone, right? Don't you question the mods? Oh, Carrie. So why would she want to come here and do this? Now, I do know that some people actually take their lives in places that they like to go to, like to frequent. So that is not uncommon. But I would like to know if maybe somebody around her knew that she frequented this place. Maybe it was a sanctuary for her, right? Who knows? Let's see. Oops, sorry. Hit my mic. Let's see what the latest is. All right. This is what I was looking for, and it wouldn't pull up, even though I saved it on my phone. So one day ago, this person, I don't even know who it is, but I'm kind of glad that their name and their picture's out of it. Okay. But I think it's a family member. I'm pretty sure it's a very close family member. Let's just say that. It doesn't matter who they are. She might even say who she is. I don't know yet. Or he. Detective Jason Norris. I'll write that down. I'm learning along with most of you, by the way. Jason Norris is over this case at the Robeson County Sheriff's Office in North Carolina. I'm typically not one to just share info without a ton of verifiable facts, but in this case, a young lady has lost her life, and at least a bare minimum, an investigation needs to be started immediately. Oh, okay, so this is just somebody random, not family members. All right, I knew. Oh no, I take that back. Let me just shut up and read this. I know this preacher. We went to the same school growing up, and I know his father to be wrought with controversy, and criminal activity over the years. The apple does not fall far from the tree most of the time. Just click the Justice for Micah tag and see for yourself. Oh, honey, don't have to tell me twice. But I'm going to finish reading this. The pastor and his young wife, he had groomed, trigger warning, groomed since he was 14, had been separated for a month or so. Okay. And were in the process of going through with a divorce. Many people close to Micah knows that she was suffering from abuse and control in her marriage. Her videos obviously say that, or show that that's what her experience was, right? She tells her family that she was not experiencing any self-harm ideation, but was fearful for her life due to outside circumstances, which is documented in recent public videos. Yes, I guess it has. Some person was slashing her tires, stalking her, and just overall being aggressive towards her, to the point where she got a no contact order against this person. And also filed for a divorce 4 days before her unaliving and or death, whichever. Right now, undetermined death, I would say, but by a supposed self-inflicted gunshot wound. Okay. She passes away late Saturday at the age of 30, and the abuser husband has no problem preaching, not even 24 hours later, avoids the topic until the end, right? All while cracking jokes and calling himself charming and handsome. And then over the course of a minute, openly states on video for everyone to see in front of churchgoers that he made stand up for an announcement that she was supposedly clearly mentally ill, to the point that others could tell, openly claims that she took her own life and that she was taking psych meds that for some weird reason were in short supply, all while imploring people to continue to give and serve the church. Right. That's, as Tia pointed out, imploring people to continue to give and serve the church and then leave quietly and don't discuss what he just said. This clip is from the sermon Sunday, hours after she died. We already watched that. He preached an entire sermon where nothing seemed off and he was in good spirits. I was speechless at the end, though, with his delivery method. Me too. And by the way, remember, he says, I don't want anybody to talk about this. Exit the church quietly. I got to take a few days, maybe a few weeks off. Okay. It's about me. Two days ago, he was not allowing the family to view the body and is trying to quickly have her cremated. Oh, I don't have my red flag soundboard up, but right? Right? Something is rotten in the state of Denmark. Yep. OG mod, yep. I hope she doesn't get cremated either. And I'm hoping that, Oh, obviously, if they're investigating her death, I would hope they would put a halt to that, right? Could they do that? Could the sheriff's office have that jurisdiction to say, do not do this? I don't know. I would think that you would need maybe probable cause to do. I'm not sure. How would you? Okay, let's think about that. How would you stop a cremation without a legal order? Because he is the husband. That's very concerning. Very concerning. They did stop it. Oh, thank God. The DA will stop that and order an autopsy. Okay. Interesting. So there is again current FOIA request in Lumberton, North Carolina, where the incident occurred. So Lumberton, North Carolina, which again is Lumber River State Park, where she was found. I don't know. I mean, I guess he would be the only one to know the details of how she was found. I mean, I don't see anything. Not that we need to know that. Obviously, she was found with, a gunshot wound to the head, right? But I'm wondering if there was something suspicious that they could have talked on, right? Or spoken on. Says, though, McLean said they plan to release additional information regarding the death investigation in the coming days. So this was Thursday, May 2nd. It's Saturday. Oh, this was updated yesterday. So maybe Monday or Tuesday, hopefully the sheriff's office will update everyone. The Orem community of Robeson County. What's Orem community? I guess that's like the area where, let me look it up. Orem community in right. Yeah, I'd be shocked too. If her body's at the morgue, they won't release it until they're done. Gotcha. Orem Township. These townships and these commonwealths, they confuse me so much. I mean, I know it's the same thing. It's just the state or the county, but it's confusing. I want to see maps. Let's look at maps. All right. So where's the satellite? Maps. Take a drum. I mean, you know how bad I am at this. Especially when I'm lagging. One moment. It's loading. It's thinking. Okay, it's not going to work. I'm pulling too many resources with my stream, OBS. But I would assume that, again, it's just a community around that state park, I would assume. Orem Community, Lumberton, North Carolina map. All right, here we go. Thanks, zipdatamaps.com. I appreciate you. So I'm guessing that's Highway 130 in North Carolina or interstate, maybe. I don't know. Okay, US 74, Highway 130, and Road 130. US 70. Okay. So I guess right outside of here. Let me get the coordinates. Zip code, Robeson County. I can figure that out. Outside of Proctorville. I wonder if anybody from around that area could pop in if I tagged it in this video. Was it Proctorville? All right. So outside of the Orem community. Wow. So I'm guessing around here. Goodness. What's out here? That's very strange, guys. I mean, we won't know exactly where she was found, but I'm very curious. If it was, someone found her very quickly, very obviously, I don't know. Be very interested to know. Maybe she left a note for someone to find her, right? Allegedly. I don't know. Let's look at the Facebook, and then I'm going to hop off of here. And we'll definitely keep up with this. And then I'm going to do a premiere. I know it's late, but it might be like 12:15, but I'm doing a Karen Reed premiere video. It's going to be awesome. Been working hard on it. Yeah, that video was telling, wasn't it? Oh, mistress. Okay. Sarah says, freelance journalist, community is shocked over the puzzling and mysterious death of Micah and his her husband's bizarre behavior. I decided to take a deeper look so everyone would understand where this case is right now. So again, recap. Found deceased of a single gunshot wound on April 27th. She was found at Lumber River State Park, 70 miles from Solid Rock Church, where her husband is the pastor. There's no information on why she was at the state park, so answered my question there. Why was she there? There is absolutely no information on how she came to be at the state park. This is not something she would normally do. Ugh, right. Good observation. By the way, Plunder, you know how wonderful she is at keeping things in line for you. Definitely go check her video out. It's very linear, unlike here, where it's a crapshoot. But she did a very amazing, I think 20-minute video on it. I had to rush through it though. I couldn't take my notes. But there is no information on why Micah was at the state park. There's absolutely no information how she, again, got there. She recently filed for divorce, according to her family and friends. Micah filed for a no contact order in April. Someone started following her and stalking her. Her vehicle tires were slashed. She began to fear that he was following her. She also filed for a separate support and maintenance. Another telling piece of information. So that separate support and maintenance, it's very, very expensive to have a missy mistress and take care of your current wife who you are wanting to divorce. And nothing hurts an abuser's feelings, an alleged abuser's feelings, than hitting that wallet book. That's like setting the house on fire. Thank you, Why Crime. Yeah, Plunder's great. So he was probably upset. Then she had the nerve in his mind to say that she was God's bride first. Remember that? And that God may hate divorce, but he sure does hate abusers. And I'm honestly proud of her for saying that. I'm so proud of her for saying that. Unfortunately, because of the circumstances, it might not seem like others might agree that it was a smart move. Either way, proud of her for it. She stood up for herself. So she's wanting some maintenance and support. And according to her friends and family, the pastor did not like this. I bet he did not. His resources need to be spent elsewhere. Members of the congregation at Pastor John Miller's church shared that John Paul completely forbade them of speaking of his wife's death at all. Forbade them. What? Try to tell me I can't do something, even though I wouldn't in this circumstance, but red flag. So forbade anybody from speaking on his wife's death. He delivered in a full sermon that we saw, mentioning he was handsome and charming before bringing up her death briefly and dismissively. That lasted 15 seconds. It sure did. He had been quoted as saying, "I got a call last night. My wife has passed away. It was self-induced and it was up in North Carolina." Churchgoers were stunned and confused. You could hear their gasps. I don't know if you could hear it on your side of the fence, but I could. Her sudden passing has set the community afire with questions and speculation. With Micah's recent no contact order, harassment, and her attempts of separating herself fully from her husband, these comments were obviously shocking. Yes. 3 days after Micah's death, the community spotted John on a date. 3 days after. The community spotted John with a woman the family alleges was a mistress he had. We saw her. Miss, oh my God, I'm shocked, I'm caught. Many people took photographs and said John seemed fully relaxed and to be enjoying himself. Boy, oh boy. Social media has been a go-to for people who feel John Paul should be deeply looked into. Posts by those involved closely in the case openly tell the story of how Pastor used his position to groom Micah when she was young. Well, maybe there's a familial similarity that I'll pull up before we go. That might have something to do with his behavior, his learned behavior. Micah's family, friends, and community are heartbroken that people are spreading false information, according to them, about Micah online in an attempt to denigrate her character. Who is doing that? We'll have to find that. Don't believe any of it, they say. Their demands for a deeper look seem to have been heard as Robeson County Sheriff's Office has now opened a full investigation. Micah's final post showing her being baptized at a different church. Ooh, another singer, I'm sure. Being baptized at another church that one her husband was a pastor at. I'm proud of Mica Miller. Proud of her. Her very last post read, "When terrible, terrible things happen to you, y'all know what I'm talking about. Resting peace face." She included a selfie. That's, wow. It's almost maybe she knew. She actually let go and let God, y'all. She really did. Everyone that knew Micah intimately and closely stated that she would never harm herself and had never spoken about doing something like that. Never spoke about going camping alone. And the one thing she had spoken about was feeling in extreme danger after getting the no contact order on her husband. John went on local news stations and said that his wife had issues and needed to be on medication that was hard to find. Well, she says he was giving her, or illegal drugs was mentioned. That's what she did. John went on a local news station and said that his wife had issues, needed to be on the medication that was hard to find. There are definitely a lot of questions that her family is asking, and do hope they can receive answers and that the truth, whatever it is, will come to light or will come out. So there's them, John Paul and Micah. 3 days later, after her death, is with his mistress with the oopsie face. Or maybe she had some food in her mouth. I don't know. And again, this post, we watched a grown man groom a youth member for years. We watched him take absolutely everything from her. We watched him destroy her mentally. We watched him destroy his own family during the process. We've watched him play God over a congregation for over a decade. He is a true wolf in sheep's clothing. He has stayed untouchable. He has put himself at the top of everything. He has gotten away with all of his wrongdoings. I am so sorry. Mica Miller, you deserve better. You deserve our help and our love. I will carry this guilt forever, knowing I should have done so much more. I can't change the past, but I will not stay quiet any longer. To all of the old SRM members, I hope you feel the same. Enough is enough. We have to bring this man down from the pulpit. That is fire. And that is why you see something, you say something, no matter who it is, no matter what situation it is. If you feel that there is someone harming another, you say something when you see it. It affects a lot more people than just the victim, especially when their lives are taken, allegedly. There's a lot more. There's so much. So much. I've already got, let's see, the counter is 326 posts already since I started this live to go. This man, John Paul Miller, gave me major creep vibes when he came to my business a couple of years ago with her and 2 young boys. I'm guessing were his sons. He was very controlling, and the kids were actually scared looking when he reprimanded them for talking. And this woman did not say a word. He did all the talking. It was a very odd interaction. Now, you're going to have a lot of speculation too, or maybe some fabrication, but this could be true as well. Also, the Camp Now kids at the Market Common and School Faith First Academy located at this church are run by pastors Matt and Melissa Johnson. It's very odd and not run right, and they are not qualified to run it either. They do not provide a safe place for children. Matt was very sketchy and odd. I would even say psychotic and jumpy. I never went back around this church because of how weird the interactions were. So if somebody knows anything about this alleged weirdo and you saw something, say something. If not, don't. But it's good to know. Good to keep in mind. Weird interactions, so there's some habitual behavior issues. Oh my gosh, look, 6 hours ago. This does not sound like someone who was trying to end their life. Is there anything I can pray for you about? Guidance always. This was March 20th. She actually did a Facebook post somewhere around here, maybe even on that day. So friend says, same, got you covered. Does Solid Rock have a singles group? Nope. Boo. Is Kane going to be there tomorrow too? I don't go to Solid Rock. God, you don't. Or didn't. What in the world? Getting divorced. So March, she mentions getting a divorce. All right. I missed a few things apparently. Yep. I'm so sorry. It's for the better. Where are you going? I'm looking for a different church. Long story. She goes to this church where allegedly John Paul used to preach at. But actually has to do with JP. Where is that? North Myrtle. Gotcha. Be safe. I'm praying for you. Prayers up for you as well. God knows I need them. So they're talking about church stuff. I'm thankful that you have found a place to call home and so peaceful. You are a good person and deserve to be happy. Yeah, that doesn't sound like someone who is, but kind of not fair to say as well, because people can be happy and never mention anything negative at all, and you would never know. Okay, so, but it does show her mindset at least the month prior, so that's good to know. A lot of people are coming out, guys. Hashtag Justice for Micah. Get on Facebook if you would like to read some of these things and watch some of these things on your own time so that you can make your own decisions on how you feel. I will obviously be keeping up to date with this in its entirety. There's a lot of lessons in here, especially abuse through religion, institution, not saying anything because of what it is, the construction of it, how it gets covered, smoke and mirrors, right? So just definitely use this for in her memory, right? And also come back and check up for updates on her investigation. Because if this man had something to do with it, he needs to be held accountable. Period. Ooh. John Paul Miller used OneDrive to share a file with you. When was this? That's weird. What is this about? "14 hours ago, last night, we received an email from J.P. Miller. When opened, it was a 39-page Chase Morgan financial brochure, which we downloaded. And when we opened after the download, it's now blank, all 39 pages. If you received this email, please let me know. Here's what ours looked like." What? Is that a virus? No, he was not a nice man, obviously. Sometimes you can say something, do something, I mean, any and everything, but the abuse just keeps going back, right? No matter what, though, no matter what, you keep saying something when you see something. It's better to do that than not. And I know a lot of people might disagree secretly. But do sit on it for a minute and think it clearly before reacting too, on the best appropriate way to help that person, that victim, and know everything that you can do to help them, and not necessarily because you're mad at the person who is victimizing someone. That's where people get it messed up. They see something that someone's doing to someone they love and they get pissed off, mad, angry, foaming at the mouth, which as you should have a right to feel. But they react so quickly instead of calming down and thinking of the victim and saying, what's the best thing that I can do for that victim? Just maybe keep that in mind. That's very interesting. Did he accidentally share his bank statements? Maybe the police needed to ask him about his bank statements and he actually sent it to everybody. I don't know. That's weird. By the way, the church that he was, Solid Rock at Market Common, is closed. Permanently, it says on maps. Oh, now you want to... No, that's Solid Rock Baptist. Solid Rock Market Common in Myrtle Beach. I got the screenshot, but I can't pull it up right now. It said permanently. Maybe they changed it. Waiting for the bad reviews. They should be coming in anytime. Yeah, maybe they changed it now. Anyway. Their website doesn't work either. I've already tried to go look. All right, guys. Thank you for being here. Justice for Mica Miller. I'm going to call her a victim's advocate because of her testimony on Facebook that's been shared thousands of times now. Probably going to be in the hundreds of thousands very quickly. And I pray for their family, her family, and her loved ones, and justice for her, and that the investigation goes how it should. And if you see something, you say something. And if you know something about Micah and what happened to her, anything at all, please contact the Robeson County Sheriff's Office. You could, even if it's nothing to you, but it's relevant to her and her circumstances leading up to her demise, please contact them and tell them everything. Why not? Might help. All right, guys. You know, as I say, drink your water. Justice for victims of all kinds of victims. Be there for them, support each other. Spend your energy wisely in these YouTube streets. And I'll see you on the next live. Goodbye, guys. Good night.
Gone somewhere and dyed my hair now. Wanna be alone. It's much to bear and you don't care, and I won't play alone. I got you in